What's happening, guys? Paladin here, and welcome to another video. Today, I want to show you the latest metagame report from the OCG that shows Despia to be a little bit better than before. As we see here, it's at 8.1% in the pie. It's the third best deck right now there. Purely is dominating in the OCG along with MathMech. Purely in the past weeks had a lot more representation. It was actually at 20%, if I'm correct. MathMech though has closed the gap, and Branded also seems to be to have raised, in the top 3, and after that there's Tearlaments and Runics. Right now the format there is a bit weird, to be honest. Basically, you know that OCG has killed almost every combo deck, like Castira, Tearlaments, all of that is basically not maybe not dead, but a lot more weak. So regarding Branded, that's what we care about on this channel. This is there are 9 Branded that have topped this past week in the OCG. 8 Branded and 1 Grass Branded. In those 8 Branded, there are 2 variants. The first one is the one that includes Bastials. The Bastials that have remained, because as you know, the Bastials have been slaughtered in the OCG. They basically, aside from Sharonir, all the rest are limited, if I'm correct. And the second one is the variant, that plays Nadir Servant. So let's get straight to the list. There's a sample list here in Road of the King, which releases those OCG metagame reports. So let's go down. This is one list that topped with Purely. Basically, this deck is very good. It will also be very good in the TCG also. It has a Towers Noir that it's not very easy to overcome. It also has a lot of space for hand traps in the main, and that's another reason that the deck is really good in general. As you can see, everybody have trolls in the main. Ghost Ogres, Maxi. Okay, Maxi, it's mandatory. Let's be honest here. MathMechs also draws in the main, Blossoms, Maxi. The hand trap lineup in those decks is pretty much the same, because Droll right now basically counters most of them. So let's get to straight to the Branded one. So this is a sample list from a guy in the OCG that went X1 and finished second in a 40 person tournament, 40 people tournament. In this tournament, he played against 4 Purely, as the report says, and he won all 4 matches, going second. His list is very decent, not going to lie on this. He plays Maxi, Ash, Ogre, and Diddy Crow in the main, which is a very, very good hand trap. It's the standard Bastia list. As you can see, he only runs Lubellion and Sharonir. Lubellion is limited in the OCG. They also have limited Branded Fusion and Branded Opening there, so the deck is a lot more weak in the OCG than the one we have here right now. It's the classic, branded Bastial list. Okay, very few Bastials. As I said, Bastials there have been slaughtered. So he only runs the two best ones. No, since Bastials are, kind of dead there, there's no, you can't really run stuff like a Toad, to be honest. It's very risky. You will probably brick with that because there's no consistency in the Bastial ratios. One thing that makes branded in the OCG a meta contender right now is that this deck doesn't really get hurt by Droll as much as the other decks there. Because Despia never really had a problem with Droll, aside from basically the variants that either played Patchwork or the Keeper engine or stuff like that. Basically, Despia, if branded fusion, as long as branded fusion resolves, it doesn't really give a damn about stuff like Droll, to be honest. So it only really cares about Ash Blossom. But in the OCG, as you can see, people have two Call by the Graves. The cards are two and limited cross out. In my opinion, Call by the Grave is the better card. So having two of it and being able to pair it with that one cross out, it's pretty decent regarding Ash Blossom. But as I said, many people in the OCG run also Nadir Servant, without the Dogmatic Ash, because there are targets right now like Quem, and Albaz. I've showed you the combos, so you know how this is going. So that's another reason that Despia right now in the OCG is that good, because Droll also does not really hurt the deck. So standard main deck at this time, no Nadir Servant in this, but 100% there is another Servant in the other decks on the pie, because I showed you some this week or in the community tab of the channel. So as I said, also Droll in the side here, as you can see, Droll is very, very popular in the OCG right now, and it's going to be very popular in here once the new set drops officially, because it basically hurts all the decks. It hurts Castira that is not gone yet. That shit has to go, to be honest. Purely super heavy samurais, it's very, very effective against the samurai deck, to be honest. It basically, it's the mandatory hand trap that you need to run in both OCG and TCG right now in the main. So that's what I personally also suggest, and I've told you that in the previous videos also. Maxi is pretty standard in the OCG. We don't have Maxi here, to be honest. Ghost Ogre is also a good card that is effective both versus samurais and purely. In the OCG, samurais are not as good, but purely right now is probably the best deck there, so it's also effective versus that specific deck. So this list, as I said, is very standard. It basically contains stuff that the TCG lists also have. It doesn't run the synchros because, as I said, it can't really run many Bastials because most of them are limited. So there's no point, to be honest, in running stuff like a Toad, because you won't be able to search them as consistently, to be honest. But generally, in my opinion, this is a very, very good list. I'd personally run, Droll in the main, to be honest, but that's just my preference. But in the side also, it can, be as effective. Some people, play kaiju. A lot of people actually play kaijus and, Santa Claus here in the TCG, but in the OCG also, because of the noir that purely has. It's the the towers of that deck. But in general is a really good card. But the point is that not to not let that deck actually bring out Noir. Like in my lists, in the latest ones, as I've showed you, I run many hand traps as you can see, but I don't run any kaijus or Santa Claus in the main, because in my opinion it's better to not let that deck purely to bring out Noir, rather than let them bring it out and hope that you have the kaiju in hand, because that monster inside the Despia deck in a pure list, let's say in a pure list, you don't really have many ways to get rid of it. Like it cannot be effective even by super poly. So the only counter for that deck, for that card, is Mirror Jade's graveyard effect. But that's not guaranteed, to be honest. So you better run hand traps, in my opinion, so you don't let your opponent summon Noir in the first place, rather than they summon it and then you have problems with it, because the card is no joke, to be honest. And here in the report, the dude that topped this event says that he mainly relies on hand traps to stop the opponent from setting up Noir. Like I told you here, it's better not let that deck bring out the boss, rather than let them bring it out and try to remove it later, because if they don't manage to bring it out, their board is very easy to break in general, because Despia has the ability to OTK going second, even with Branded Fusion and the Branded Opening at 1. The deck is really good at OTKing the opponent. And as he says here, as long as the opponent's Noir is unable to stand, Branded has the better removal ability, higher attack, better resource management, and also has Masquerade. So indeed Branded, if we exclude Noir, has a good matchup versus Purely. But the point is to not let them bring out Noir, and cause you damage. So this is, the sample, let's say, list that Road of the King chose to show in its metagame report. I'll be sure to, gather more, if I can, the rest of the lists to show you guys in the community tab or in a separate video, depends. I've showed you already some inside this week, with Nadir Servant. Some people also like to play Dogmatica. There's the Dogmatica branded variant right now in the OCG is very popular. You will see also many lists top with that. They either run Keeper or a larger Dogmatica engine with Ecclesia and Flare and stuff, or just Nadir. But in general, Dogmatica branded is very popular right now in the OCG. So this is pretty much it. This is the metagame report from the OCG. Tier laments, I'm not really surprised. Regardless, all those hits, they still are a very strong contender in the OCG. Branded continues to rise. As I said, one of the reasons is that this deck doesn't give a damn about roll. So that's a very good advantage the deck has right now, and in my opinion, it has the potential to go and go toe to toe with Mathmex and Purelys. Although that the format in the OCG is different than ours, they have many cards on the list that we don't. They have Maxi. Their format is different. But in general, Branded, as I said, has the advantage to OTK. It has a good, ability to manage its resources. It's better, in my opinion, in that regarding the resources than Purely. it's just, either you don't let them summon their boss, or if you intend to do so, you must have a plan to remove it ASAP, or else it can be a trouble. So this is pretty much it. This is the metagame report from the OCG. Basically, this is the last one from April, as I see. So the next one will probably be either the last week of April, the latest ones, or the new lists from May. So this is pretty much it, as I said. If you have anything to say or ask, don't hesitate to comment below anything. I will keep posting branded videos, as I've told you. I have many videos right now in the works, so expect to more videos to get released either today or from tomorrow. We will analyze the upcoming meta in the TCG. I don't know if they will finally release a list, but if they do, I will gladly take it, because to be honest, I don't really want to also have Castira in mind when building this deck for the next format, because that matchup is way different, and it will be way more difficult regarding deck building, to also have Castira in mind when Super Heavy Samurai comes out, when Hyrule comes out, when Manadoms come out, when Punk Gold Pride come out. There are many decks that come out right now that can be very strong, can make strong boards, but we have to build properly about those, but not also have in mind the old decks, because Castira will make you run Dragoon in the main, which in my opinion kinda sucks. You will also have in mind, hey, I have an Arise card to beat, and or a Diablosis that will fuck up my extra and stuff. So in my opinion, they better release a list, give Castira the dick. Runic also, why not? I'd take that also, to be honest. And after that, we can build more calmly about the new format and the new decks that come out. So this is pretty much it. Stay safe, and see you next time.